My name is Deidre Berry, and I met Jane through Facebook, I think. Somebody from church had used her for training purposes. And so I'd been bringing our bull terrier up here for training, but I also foster some animals from the shelter from time to time. Our latest is out there playing, but she's going to be a permanent. She's not a foster anymore. She's staying.
So you're a foster failure now?
Yes. Yes.
Is that what they call it?
I could say that, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Welcome to the club.
Yeah.
foster failure.
Each of us, including myself, fosters several dogs at one time. We also end up adopting many of the dogs that we foster. We refer to that as a foster failure, but it's a brand that we welcome because of the fact that it says that we think enough of these animals to keep them as permanent members of our family.
Ask you something. How important do you think that training has a lot to do with saving?
Oh, I think it's probably a must, especially for those that have been neglected or have bad habits. Jane can work miracles.
Heather, you are an educator yourself. You teach school children.
Yes, I teach first graders.
So I guess you know I know you know that you know the value of education.
Yes. We believe in training and in education. Yes, definitely.
So how did you know Jane Train, that famous legendary woman right there?
Well, I follow her on Facebook, and I had seen what she had done with another Annie that Paws had back several months ago.
You remember Annie?
I remember Annie.
Yes. And so I thought, well, if she could help that Annie, I definitely felt like she could help this Annie too. So
totally. Yeah, that's really timid, isn't she?
I think that's really more it, that she's just timid more than feral.
She's a sweetheart though, huh?
She is really good. She's just a great dog. She just doesn't come across that great to new people because she doesn't greet them in a friendly way. She does this, hides kind of behind me. And
I don't mind that.
do you not? Yeah.
I'm probably not the one to ask. Shall we go in and then we can test her?
I think that sounds
with
great.
the other dog.
And so I noticed how you're kind of sideways to her. That would be...
Yeah, because if I'm a predator, she's a predator.
Okay.
Does this?
Yeah, right. That's more of a confrontational. And so
when you're dealing with fear-based animals, you're letting them know with your body language, hey, I'm not going to hurt you.
okay.
So you can either be like this. They're the feral ones, like with Annie. We started out down here.
Okay.
So like, if I get all the way down like this, in order to feel comfortable, to make sure we don't invade their space, yet letting them know I'm not going to hurt you either. We have to kind of try to push the envelope within the threshold that she can cope with. So, I actually think she's really funny.
Oh, you do?
Well, probably a lot of people do, they like the Disney kind of, thing around dog, Well, I mean, that dog in there, Georgia, who's in for daycare, that's the kind of dog that people love because she's all over. Not afraid of anything, and just, But then, the downside to that is that, the dog has really bad manners and needs to be trained. I don't want it either. So,
Yeah.
You're between a rock and a hard place.
Well, that's very true because my personal dog is probably just as opposite. When the doorbell rings, she rushes to greet the people first, and it's like I'm trying to hold her back. But I guess people think, well, she's a normal, happy dog because she's come and run to meet me, and Annie's standing back waiting.
So the thing to do is when the people come in, all right, and in fact, we'll do it right here. I'll show you how to do it. So
Okay.
She's only just met me, and we're going to sit up on the porch. So let's go over here.
Oh, because I just let them come rush in the door and go after her.
Yeah,
And
so
that probably was not a good way to do it.
No, because she's lacking confidence, but not entirely. She's actually moving around. Look at it this way. Look for the physiological signs of stress and fear in a dog. What we would be looking for would be trembling, drooling, pupils in the eye dilated, okay? And sometimes the mouth might be pull back a little bit and the ears tugged under. And then when they get really super scared, the ears suddenly perk up because they're just about ready to bolt.
Okay.
So when those people arrived, was she trembling?
No, she wasn't trembling.
Was she growling?
No.
Was she shaking?
No,
No.
she wasn't. She just
Was she
had her-
doing just this?
She had her tail a little more tucked than this, and she just was kind of avoiding. She just backed up from
Okay.
them.
So that's fine. So let her be. So you tell the person, you tell them, okay, come in, please come in and sit down. So I'm the visitor, right?
Okay,
So I come in and I sit down, and you say to them, would you like a glass of water? Oh no, I'm fine, thank you. Did you have a nice day? Yes, thanks. The person relaxes as you give them the tour.
Okay.
So then the person relaxes. She's reading the body language when she comes into the room. She's not in the room yet.
Okay, so I have her in a
You
different
have
room.
a different room. The person's back, and then you say to them, can you take these bowl of hot dogs and hold it here?
Oh,
So they hold the bowl of hot dogs there.
okay.
Make sure she hasn't had breakfast or dinner first,
Right. Let her be hungry.
because we're going to have to use the hunger drive
Yes.
to help her get over her fear so that she approaches the person.
Okay.
Then you're going to say to them, when she comes in the room, because she's a very shy dog, please do not look her in the eyes, but focus your eyes on your feet.
Oh, okay.
Then take the hot dog and hold it out like this.
Okay.
Now, you're going to have to guide her over to the hot dog, so then she takes it like this, all right? So how do you guide her over if she's over there? Okay, so you go through the motions, the person does this,
Okay. And
Okay.
then I go get Annie.
then you go get Annie and you say to them, okay, please look at the hot dog bowl now. You have to train the people.
Train the people. Okay, look at the hot
So
dog.
the people
bowl
look at the
now.
hot dog and say, please take out the piece of hot dog and hold it in front of you like that. You have Annie on the leash and you walk her by now. So you walk her by
Okay.
with
So I would put her on the leash and I would walk her by. Go Annie, this way.
and if she stops to take the hot dog, let her.
A little bit more that way. Yeah, there you go, Annie. There's the hot dog.
So you can tell the person, look out the corner of your eye, can you see Annie coming by, and just offer her the hot dog.
Okay. And so I have you come in and sit down and relax, offer you a drink or something, and and then give you a little bowl of hot dogs and say, now when Annie comes in, just look down at the bowl of hot dogs and look down towards your feet, and then when I bring Annie, you can hold the hot dog out in front of you, and then I'm just going to bring Annie by, but don't make eye contact. Just let her take the weenie from you.
Right.
So, okay, so here we come. Yes, you're doing it today. Well, you gotta look down. And she comes right to you this time.
Okay. So then the person goes, wow, what a nice dog.
And then it's okay to pet her. Like when they went to pet her, like, because I just let it, I didn't really have any kind of plan. I just opened the door, Annie's standing in the living room, and they've got kids, and of course the kids are like, oh, there's Annie.
Oh, really?
And they start toward her, and
yeah.
Annie tucks her tail and runs in the kitchen.
Yeah, children are very intimidating for a dog that's not used to it. So
Yes.
the children also have to do this.
Oh, letting them pet her.
Okay, so that would be step 2.
Okay.
And so once they've done that, so then you say to the visitor, okay, stand up now and just step forward and just give her a stroke here. Just
Okay.
like that. So they
And
don't,
just
they
come up
don't,
the side of her.
they-
Don't
well,
approach
they-
her from
they-
the front.
Correct. From this side, just like this, and they don't come up to the head. So get the person to, oh, what a lovely doggy. Hi, baby. Hi. So she knows full well I'm now stroking her. I'm giving her a nice pressure on my stroke, so it's not sort of like, "Ooh, I'm scared of you kind of talk. You know, it's a,
Right.
this is like, hi, how you doing? And tell them to do this.
Oh, okay. So she kind of
Not hard,
likes
just
that.
a little bit. Well, you know, it felt
Yeah.
kind of funny to her, but you can get dogs used to it. Some like it, some don't. My guys like it. Yeah. Now,
Yeah,
now, okay.
yeah.
Now she's pushing back against me.
Does that feel good, Annie?
You know, and at first I'm like, well, that's kind of weird. You know? But it's sort of like a little massage. And I'll help her to get to know the person through the pressure and the touch that they'll apply on her, okay? Tell them just to do this kind of thing, but not to fuss around with her face.
Okay.
A dog needs to feel that they've got a getaway.
Okay.
If they get cornered, when a dog that's fear-based is cornered, what do? Well,
Or
if they're
they
cornered.
Oh, then they try to bite.
They could
Yeah.
snap or growl or bite, and unfortunately, many a dog's being labeled as being aggressive, when in fact all they're saying is like, wow, you're too close to me, please back away.
Okay.
So I'm saying to her, guess what, I'm not going to invade your space. You know, I'm going to back away. All right, so let's just give it an experiment now. Okay, look in her eyes and tell me what you read in her eyes.
I think she seems pretty relaxed.
Yeah, so drop the leash
Okay.
and you sit over here. So we're still in the living room. Here's the visitors. And so a visitor can go, wow, what a pretty dog. Hi, Annie. Hi, Annie. So she knows I'm talking to her. She's like, oh, I don't know. So then you can say to them, oh, give her another piece of hot dog. So you direct them through.
Okay.
Engage the person. Don't let them go, it's a free shopping mall. Help yourself.
Right. Yes, I really just didn't know anything about how to let them eat, and I was
See,
just
so
letting
she's
them.
now sniffing me.
Oh, yes, she is.
So it's on her time.
That's great.
So now she's confident enough to say, okay, well, who is this person? And I'm completely ignoring it. I'm not forcing her. So now she's saying, okay, can you try it again?
Yeah, she doesn't seem afraid of you at all.
She's lacking confidence, but for a dog that's been through what she's been through, I mean, it's quite remarkable that she's actually even the way that she is. So well done.
Yeah, well, good. Well, I've had her since July, and she has come along. She's such a sweet girl, and I want her to have a home. I was just afraid she wasn't adoptable yet. I didn't know if she was ready to.
You'll have to find somebody that's sensitive to canine behavior, obviously, to be able to read her in this way. Really fearful of me. She wouldn't come in. It's like the fourth time she's done this, come up this
Right.
side. She would come that way. She wouldn't come anywhere in my bubble, my space. But she does. She regularly comes. So she's like,
And she's not seemed to be fearful of Hero. I mean,
yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, Hero's pretty good at just standing there.
yeah. So it's a lot about being patient too.
Oh, it's all about me.
Because I think my problem is I want her, so I'll go get her and make her come in here.
Yeah, but everyone does. But you
Yeah.
see, that's the difference between force-based training and reward-based training, where we are using reward. Food is a hunger drive that we're initiating, motivating the dog to go, okay, I want that treat. Do I trust you enough to override my fear to do this behavior? That's different than somebody saying, you will come because I'm pulling you. And the dog's going, oh, God, okay, right?
Yeah,
But he
right.
doesn't have any choice. So does that dog become more confident? Teach a dog like this? Well, no. You might actually make her a lot more fearful.
Right.
So now she's actually right there on the other side of the fence, on the other side of that public. She's staring at you. See that? So what I do is I just give them a lot of time. So here's how we're going to do it. We're going to walk out here. So we're going to create even more distance between us and her. We'll let her decide. So we're going to walk up here. Training is rescuing. The amount of dogs that get returned back to rescue groups or shelters, the percentage of that is because when people adopt the dogs out, if the dogs are not trained and they're unable to train them because they don't know how, then unfortunately they are returned. So training is so important for the dog that goes into the forever home. We always want the dog to have a forever home. And if the rescue group or the person that has the rescue dog is not understanding how much is really needed to train the dog, then likelihood that it's not going to happen. That dog will not stay in that home long term. It takes a lot of time. It does take money, patience, and a thorough understanding. But I think that we are getting there. I think now more than ever before, people are moving towards that a lot more. I remember, maybe, at least 10 years ago, I was working with a rescue group, a shelter actually, and the director there was like, oh, training, it's not worth it. People are not interested in that. We're not going to dedicate any funds towards that. And I was astonished at that because I thought, well, if you don't train the dogs, then they can't walk on a leash, they jump all over people, or they run and hide from people. So if your dog is well trained, everyone wants to adopt a dog that sits nicely at your feet. So training is rescuing.
Jane, for those in the younger generation that are that get it. They understand that training is a significant part of rescue, and they're learning or they're in training to become trainers, dog trainers. What advice would you give to the future trainers, dog trainers?
Learn everything you can about animal behavior and work with different species, not just with dogs, because that really will help to give you a broader way and approach to how to work with animals. And give yourself lots and lots of time just observing animal behavior, observing dog behavior. Don't jump right in and, do the, hey, let's train them to do a backward somersault straight away. Just give them lots of time. And what I like to do with my dogs is I walk my dogs a lot. And in my walking of the dogs, not only am I able to think, but I am able to observe natural behavior in my own dogs. And I go, oh yeah, look, they're doing that again. Okay, so that means da-da-da. And I can actually see the behavior unfold. So the best trainer is the trainer that actually does very little. It's like the less is more approach. So sometimes I know when you watch me work, doesn't look like I do anything, and it's a very subtle approach. You just watch. This is in the context of rescue animals, rescue dogs that have a history. So yes, we approach them very carefully.
So there's no pressure, there was no force involved?
So, yes, right. So we gave her the choice. Okay, can I handle this? Can I do this? And there's lots of space here. She didn't feel cornered. You have reinforced your trust for her because you're basically saying to her, I'm going to stand over there. You can come and see me if you want. You don't have to, whatever. Whereas if you had put her on the leash, like you said, shall I pull her through the gate? What would you be telling her by doing that?
That she couldn't trust me. That I'm going to make her go
You're gonna
somewhere
make her
she
do
doesn't.
it, so she doesn't have the opportunity to decide.
Yeah.
And if she's not very confident, and she's not, then that will make her be more fearful. So because this whole exercise is to make a fearful dog confident in a strange environment, that's why we're doing what we're doing. And the single biggest factor that people do not allow for their dogs is time. It's on the dog's time, not yours.
Yeah. I know I'm guilty of that.
Well, we all are,
Yeah.
because unfortunately this is the world that we live in, aren't we? People want a quick fix yesterday.
Yeah.
They want to pay the cash and move on,
Yeah.
These guys don't have a monetary system. Good news.
Yeah.
They don't pay the mortgage either, mind you, but nonetheless, so time. Lots of time.
Yeah. And just that being patient.
Yeah. It's amazing, isn't it? And now look at her here, you see?
Yeah.
So now she's okay, and her hackles have gone down. She's not quite so nervous. She's sniffing around our feet. You know what's going on. That's fine. Now let's run the experiment again. You pull to the end of the fence, and if she comes up to you, good girl, but don't have to grab her, nothing like that.
Okay.
Just praise her, turn around, walk back like it's the most casual thing in the world.
Okay.
So when I work with interns, I work with a lot of trainers that come to me. And for sure, if they want to make a living out of it or be a trainer, you have to take your time to feel the owner. So you have to be able to make that connection with the person, because the person that owns the dog is the one that's going to be doing the communication back to the dog. And so a level of sensitivity is required for the person. So I have to feel the person, their anxieties, their worries, their hopes, their fears around their dog that they love. And then also I have to make sure that my language, my terminology, is something that they can understand too. I mean, I'm from a different culture, and now I'm working down here in another culture. So it's like I have to go, okay, I gotta, do they understand what I just said? Is that concept too out there? And I have made very poor mistakes and terrible communication skills over the years. So yes, if you want to be a dog trainer, you also have to be a therapist, really good communicator. Training an animal actually is pretty easy. They want to work with us. They like that. You can tap into that pretty easily. That's not it. That's just only a small percentage. You do need to be able to connect with the other person and say, okay, when you see that person and they're feeling this anxiety around their dog, how would you approach that and what would you do? So that's something that I would encourage any young person that wants to be a dog trainer is to try to feel the person that they want to work with. If they can feel that person and their anxieties, their hopes and their fears, their expectations, if you can feel that, then you will have a good client base, because people need that. They need you to know how they feel in order for us to train the dog.
It's a people problem, not a pet problem.
Animals are just animals.
Right.
They live in the present moment. They're just here having a good time, and whoever that person is that they're working with, and they'll be that person. With that person, they'll reflect back that person. So the skill of the trainer is to be able to see in the owner the reflection of what's going on with the dog, and you can see that a lot. And that's what I work with. But I've been doing this a long time. It's true. So yeah, I can feel it. Sometimes it's hard to put it into words, but that is what I pick up on, and that is what I feel. Okay, so open up the gate, put the leash in your pocket, start to open the gate, and then just say her name. You lift it up, that's it. Okay, reach down and take her collar with one hand.
I've got it.
That's it, there you go.
Yeah,
right.
she didn't want to get left.
It's because you were chasing. They never
Yeah.
go with the chase.
You gotta make it because of you.
So Heather, it's the end of the session with Jane trains. How did you feel?
I feel a lot more informed about what I need to do to help the meet and greet go more successfully.
Yeah.
And I just feel that I know more what to do now to help Annie gain more confidence, not forcing her to do things and not just holding her and letting people pet her. Let it be more of her choice and her freedom to come. I think that's one of the main things I learned today.
That's it, lovely. Well, good luck.
Yes. Well, I feel a lot better about it.
Good.
So I think it's gonna. I feel better knowing too that you think she's okay, because
she's great.
Okay.
Jane can work miracles.
I think we know that.
Training is rescuing. It's giving a lot of time.
Thank you, Jane.
Yeah, you're welcome.